because I didn't love coming on camera like this and making you be subjected to me obviously sounding a little sick. So, you know, I hope this is the last video I'll have to film sick, but you never know ever. I will do my best to edit out all like sniffles and whatnot. I don't want to subject you to that at all. But it just kind of is what it is right now. And maybe that's the first thing we can get started on. I've been in Italy for a few days. Actually, for like a few more days. For a week and a half. The beginning of August. The beginning of August. And you kind of missed it, I think, because I actually was really good with pre-filming my videos for that. So, you did have content at that time. However, then afterwards, I was staying in my parents' place for a little bit, and then I got sick, which is where we are now, but I'm back home, and I'm very excited to be back home. I always like holidays with my entire family, however, they do tend to get a bit stressful for me. I don't know, I have a really good relationship with my family, but I am very much a person who needs their space. I need to like have time to be with myself and have a space of retreat, you know. And if I'm just 24/7 on occasion with my family, just there's tension, you know. But it was okay. It was okay. It was a great holiday. It was really hot. It was really, really hot. And now it is really cold again, which is probably where I have this annoying cold from. But other than that, I'm obviously not feeling entirely great. I have had a good time because if a cold does like one thing, it is to give you an excuse to lay in bed all day, feel bad for yourself, and like watch TV and read a book all day. And that's kind of just what I did for the past week. I drank a lot of tea. I, truth be told, watched more TV than I was doing reading, but it was good, you know. I watched the entire old and new season of Wednesday, which I loved, okay. Big fan of the first season. Not entirely sure what I think of the second season yet. However, we'll see. I also watched Perfect Match. I thought this season was so boring. I don't know. Very boring. However, I did start Love is Blind UK, and I've been really enjoying that. I'm not too far in, but I'm already very intrigued. I think that's gonna be a good season. Just a few movies. I watched this like my Ox video on because it just got recommended to me so often on Netflix. Was in my cup of tea. It's about this British, American girl going to Oxford, and I can't remember the actor's name, but she makes the weirdest facial expressions. She's constantly like, oh my god, and it bugs me out so much. I couldn't watch it after like the plot twist. I stopped watching because I just didn't care. So that happened. And then I watched, what else did I watch? Oh, I watched Battleship with Rihanna. I said is from Roland Emmerich. Great movies. I even like Moonfall, like Hear Me Out. Unpopular opinion, but I still liked it. And yeah, Battleship, fun movie. It's about this American army, no, navy, battleship. And they just get randomly attacked by aliens. Listen, my girl Ariana is in it, and she saves the world, you know, so it's a fun movie. I liked it. I've watched it before. I tend to watch those movies on repeat. I need a quick coffee break. Because for some reason they just kinda don't do these anymore. But I love like Another World movies so much. I also really like World War Z and like what's the other one? Greenland. Is that the one? I think so. I like 2012. I like the independence movies, obviously, yeah. I like a lot of those movies. However, I started watching War of the Worlds. I'm not sure if that's the name in English. That is kind of the translation to German. It's the only title I know that they've done with Iced Tea. Iced Tea. And it's a fairly new movie. I think it just literally came out a month or two ago. And I started it. I haven't finished it yet because I got interrupted, but I'm not sure what I'm thinking about it yet. It is basically just a remake of the old movie, and I kind of didn't fully understand it, but I filmed it as like a desktop version, and from the first like 15 minutes, what I watched, it is basically just you watching the computer screen of this guy, Ice-T, and how he is gonna like deal with this problem. And it's just a bit odd because he kind of quickly clicks through tabs and like video surveillance and stuff, and it's a little odd to watch because they don't talk a lot of times. A lot of times they like text on the computer, and you're just kind of like, it's almost as if you're like watching, you know, someone share their screen on Zoom, and then you just be kind of watching it happen. It's a little bit odd, but whatever. I probably will continue watching it. But if you have good show and movie recommendations, do let your girl know. I think I'll still be hanging around a day or two with this cold, so I'm planning on doing the least amount of stuff possible. I have been planning on rewatching Stranger Things as well, because it's been a while since I watched a show. But I actually really enjoyed it. I loved Stranger Things, so I've been meaning to watch the first episodes again before the new season comes out. But we'll see if I can make it. I also have been meaning to watch The Summer Turned Pretty. However, I got so bored of the second season, I just couldn't do it. I think Belly's so unrelatable. I hated her in the books already. So I'm not entirely sure if I can sit through the cringe that has begun the second season. I really enjoyed the first one and the second one. But moving on. By the way guys, I'm like missing a nail. I need to fix it. I just can't be bothered right now. By the way, I know a lot of people always like to share their iced coffee recipes, and I never have, because truly, my iced coffee is very special. I'm not the biggest fan of sweet coffees, except for like in winter I do my pumpkin spice, but that's about it. So usually the espresso machine, and then I put it on ice, and I put some milk in it, and that's all the magic. I quickly got interrupted by the mail. I can tell you a funny story about this parcel I just got, because it is from myself, or at least half. You know how I told you I was at my parents' house, and I drove back home the middle of last week, and I was already pretty sick at that point. So when I was packing up my stuff, that I obviously spread around the entire house, because I like to get comfortable in my parents' place. I am actually stupid because I forgot my MacBook charger. I did take my MacBook, but I didn't take the charger, which hurt a little bit when I got home because I have a lot of stuff to do. I told you that I'm changing unis. I'll talk about that a little bit later, I think. But I need to apply for student funding in the new uni, and I can't because obviously I'm very type B, if you can tell. Obviously my laptop wasn't charged, so I couldn't access any of the documents I would have needed. So I had to get my parents to mail this to me, and I had to pay €6 for that. It's great, you know. But thankfully it got here. I was slightly worried because MacBook chargers are so expensive. It's crazy, they're like 80-90 euros. I just don't know who thought of that. But yeah, where was I? I was talking about my coffee. Because, and it's like I've been recently thinking, because it kind of came up for a minute, that I wouldn't really like to go to America again. I've been to America before. I don't know, some of you, I think I mentioned it before, but we did a family vacation for 3 weeks in Florida before, and I was to Miami, Key West. We obviously were in Orlando. I was at SeaWorld, which is great. And obviously I've seen the Everglades, so I think there were like 2-3 more cities we've been to that I can't think of, but basically we're like in the bottom area of Florida. However, there's obviously so much more to America. Absolutely, love to see, especially because I know like most of my subscribers, or most of you guys, come from the Great Americans. And yeah, I don't know, I just want to hang out. I want to see where you guys live. Maybe hang out with you guys, I don't know, but it's obviously expensive flying there and being there, so I just kind of haven't logistically been able to. However, for a very brief moment, one of my best friends is a journalism student, and I told you this before, I think, maybe not where, but I think I can tell you now. She did a exchange semester at the University of Memphis in the past semester, so start of the year till like May, I think. And originally I was supposed to go visit her, or like I wanted to visit, and we wanted to do like a spring break together, go to Nashville and see it. I've never been, obviously. But as you guys know, there was a lot of stuff in the beginning of the year that was happening for me, or just wasn't happening. So I kind of had to ice those plans. It didn't happen. I didn't go, obviously, which I'm very sad about because it's obviously a great opportunity. She had student housing. I could have just stayed at her place and I could have saved some money, But she applied for an internship in New York with unfortunately, she didn't get the internship. She was the runner-up, but the first person who got chosen did take the internship, so we're not going. However, she's actually in Memphis, I think, right now. Don't go looking for her. Not that you find anything, but whatever. Because funnily enough, she met an Irish guy while she was in Memphis. And I kinda I think it's undefined for now. Which is not me spilling out the beans, okay? It's undecided yet the relationship status. However, she's just flown down for 2 weeks to go see him, so that's very cute. I'm crossing my fingers for them. He seems very, very sweet. It's kind of funny because this has similar vibes to how and when I met my boyfriend. Because this is a frequent question I get, too frequent, but I am not Australian. I am born and raised and truly fully a German potato. I don't even have a speckle of anything else. I have nothing. I have really, really, really far ancestors from France. But that is truly about it. And, yeah. What was I saying? Australia. Yeah, I met my boyfriend in Australia when I was there for an au pair year, which is basically a year where you go overseas as a nanny. I was actually surprised because so many people in Australia didn't know the term au pair. But yeah, it's just basically a live-in nanny, and you don't pay them that much. However, I had a really good time, and I met my boyfriend in a club in Australia, and he's born and raised a full-blooded Australian, or as full-blooded Australian as he can be. I think his ancestors are Scottish. Yeah, no. So, yeah, that's how we met, and it was kind of funny because I was talking to my friend that I don't think that if it ever would not work out, that I couldn't date a German guy again, which is I'm just not going to get into it. However, while she was still in Germany, she started also dating an Irish guy. So Irish guys are that type now, I think. And after that, she was also kind of German boys. No, and it's just so funny to me that she met an Irish guy in America. And now, they need to figure out their long distance. So, I'm intrigued to see how that's going and where that's gonna go. However, she's coming to see me, when, in 2-3 weeks. A little less, just right when she's coming back from America, because our best friend is getting married. So yeah, our best friend is getting married to her literal high school sweetheart. They've been together for 11 years now. And I'm so excited. It's my first big wedding ever. Other than friends of my parents getting married. And I'm so incredibly excited. I was looking for a dress for the longest time. Because I told you before, guys, I'm curvy, and my main annoyance is that I have a lot going on up here, okay? This is not a flex. I hate it, actually. And it looks stupid. It looks stupid in a lot of dresses. And I obviously don't want to be the main presentation of the day. And it also means anything strapless, chuck it out. Anything skin tight wasn't the vibe either. Didn't want to do that. And I saw one specific dress on TikTok. It is an ASOS dress, and it so stunning, and I knew it was gonna fit me, and I knew like it was gonna suit me, and unfortunately it sold out. So I was hunting for it for the longest time, because obviously I've known about the wedding for quite a while at this point. I was literally looking for this dress for the better of a year, and I finally found it on Vinted, which is kind of the European Depop, if you're not familiar. My headphone cords. Yeah, and I found it in my size, in the color I wanted, because I have one that's like this sort of pink. I've worn on my red. Anyway. And I have like a burgundy red, but the wedding colors are pastels, so I wanted the pink one, and I got it, and it was such a great deal. It came from the Netherlands, so I had to pay like €7 in shipping, but she sold it for like €15 instead of 65. I think it was new, so that was a really good deal. I'm so excited. I think I need to go on a bit of a break. Someone is mowing the lawn, but I will be back in a minute. Okay, we are actually back. It has been so long. The lawnmower was at it for like 45 minutes. So it's quite a while later. Unfortunately, the iced coffee is gone. And unfortunately, I had to blow my nose, which is why I now look like Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. Ultra belong. I was telling you guys about the wedding, and I'm truly so excited. I, again, have not been to like an actual real wedding in my adulthood years, and she's my first friend to actually get married. One of my friends is engaged newly, so I'm very excited for their wedding as well. And one of my, she's technically my ex-best friend. However, we have lately rekindled a bit of a relationship. She's had a kid, so that's very progressive, you know. I feel like I'm going into adult life. All my boyfriend's friends, it's crazy. All my boyfriend's bros are having children. Literally 3 of them. Slight pressure. But truly it's like not in the cards yet for me, neither a wedding nor a child. I still got a trip through uni. I still have 2 years of uni, and then I can think of step 1. But then I kind of still want to do my doctorate, which is probably going to be another 3 or 4 years. So that's great. But yeah, that much to my family planning, like non-existent truly, but you know, whatever happens. However, back to the wedding. I'm so happy I found that dress. Oh, I'm putting up a picture and showing because it's so pretty. And I was so happy I got it for so cheap because guys, my bank account is not looking great. I'll tell you about it a minute later though, because I did want to show you the shoes I got for the wedding, and you're gonna laugh at me, okay? You're gonna laugh me out of this house. Because I just told you I was super broke, and these shoes were actually quite expensive. I don't know what possessed me. This was unfortunately before my financial ruin. I'll get into it in a minute. Oh yeah, I got these shoes for the wedding because I have like no heels that actually fit me. I have quite wide feet, which means like open sandals usually don't fit me at all. It's just, I don't know. However, I saw these online and I don't know, they just were, I don't know what to say. Actually, I'm not even sure if they are. Because I have that Coach bag. But I think that is real leather. But then again, I don't know. However, I've always really liked Buffalo because I think as a brand they're pretty great, they're pretty sustainable. And I do love, you know, if something's vegan. I like shoes and stuff. Because like what's the point, you know? So it looks a bit funny because obviously I've worn it. So like it doesn't look as aesthetic as when it first comes out of the bag. But that is the shoe and it's like the cutest. Like it goes around your ankles. Like this. Isn't that so cute? It's got these like butterflies on it. Like butterflies. Butterflies. And then like even on your head. Like that. Do you see the vision? And then thankfully it's got quite the chunky. Doesn't make any sounds. It's got quite the chunky heel. So hopefully I can walk in it all day. I think I will take like sandals or something because I'm not trusting that. But yeah, I thought they were so cute. And I'm obviously a silver girly, so they're like gonna match perfectly. And now listen, these were 110 euros. I think that's a little bit more in American dollars. About double in Australian dollars. I think like the Australian dollar is like almost double but not fully. Yeah. I feel like that was a girl math purchase. I like feel ashamed because I've never ever in my entire life, that's actually not true, I bought Air Forces, they're equally expensive. But I mean I wear Air Forces like every day. However, it feels a bit much to spend on like occasional shoes. Do you know what I mean? I usually don't like to spend that much on like unnecessary things that I don't use every day. But I did buy them. So like I have no excuses for myself. But I'm very much in love. I hope they're comfortable for like all day wear. We'll see, but at least like I'm just gonna wear these to like every single wedding I am invited to. If you're gonna get married, like invite me, I'll come wearing these shoes and probably that dress. Because again, I have no more money to spend on anything. Oh, by the way, speaking of silver, I was gonna quickly tell you where my necklaces are from. I got a question about them the other day. You can't really see them right now. But this long one with this little tag. It's got like, I don't think you can see it at all, but it's got like a sun and a moon and something else on it. But this necklace is from Boo Moon, which is a UK jewellery brand. But they're really great and like don't stain because I wear my jewellery like all day, every day, 24/7. Again, I wear much type B. If I take something off, it is not going onto my body again for like months because I forget about it. So if I don't wear my jewellery every day and like at night and while I shower and like truly 24/7, I'm not putting it back on. And yes, people are always shocked, but that always goes for my rings as well. Like all day, every day. I don't take them off. Not at night, not to shower, never. So I always try to make sure they're good quality. However, so yeah, necklace one is from Boo Moon. And the other one, which has the sun pendant here, it's like a double layered one. And that one is from iCrush, which I'm not sure if it is a gem brand. And I'm not sure if they ship internationally. But that's where the necklaces are from. I did have necklaces from Every Jewels previously. However, they lasted like a year or so. And then it did start to stain, like when you get that green stain. And I stopped wearing that, unfortunately. But yeah, most of my rings. So like all the chunkier ones. So these two, my thumb rings, and these two, and these two. They're all blue moon as well. Love them. And then those smaller chain ones that I got here, there, and there. They are all from a small jewelry shop in Verona. I always forget how it's called. Zazen. This thing is called Zazen. So Z-A-Z-E-N. Zazen. And they have super cheap and cute and like really well lasting jewelry. I go there whenever we're in Verona. But yeah, and then this is very good Cartier Love Ring Fake. And a little butterflies from TK Maxx. And I have no idea what the brand is, unfortunately. Yeah, that's all other than my earrings. Oh, this is like a forever bracelet I have on. But my friend and I got that in Berlin in like a mall, so like it's not gonna help you, you know. But I think my earrings, the first one is from, I think it's from Lua Maya, I believe, which is also a German brand. And then the dangly one that's like looped is also from iCrush. And then on this ear, I have two. I have one with a little letter on it, and I have a second one that's got like a moon and a star. And the moon and the star is from iCrush, and the letter is from, it's like a very popular gem, Pure Lie. It's a very famous German brand, but usually for me it's too expensive and I don't love the jewelry. The jewelry is very much like, first of all, it's usually pretty much only gold, but it's got very much a like clean girly aesthetic, and I like a clean girl aesthetic, but not my jewelry. I prefer like a bit more whimsicalness, I guess, but that is my jewelry. And yeah, let's talk about my bank account because it's empty. Well, I kind of feel like we don't really need to talk about it, but at the same time, I always think that, you know, I feel like people never talk about money, and it kind of irks me sometimes. And then my mom said something that I thought was really interesting, because she thought that, she kind of said that, yeah, like, it's just like, people don't talk about money yet because they always like trying to, like, not let anyone know how much they make to cover up injustice and stuff. And I was kind of thinking about it, and you know, it's like so true. Like, I feel like with saying how much you earn and stuff, like, I don't care, you can all know how much I earn, you know. But some people are so secretive about it, and I feel like if we'd be more open, there'd be like, first of all, less pressure and stuff, and then second of all, it'd just be like easier to like actually call out injustice and stuff. So, to be 100% transparent, I have zero money on my bank account. Actually, I think it's a lie. I think I have like 25 bucks, euros. It just, I mean, I have a perfectly valid excuse, however, it's just a little bit annoying because I'm currently kind of like really freaking broke, and I need to buy a lot of things. I'm a material girl, my shopping addiction is like growing in me. But I need to rein it in a little bit, because you all know that I got accepted into a master program that unfortunately isn't in the city I'm currently living in. And like, yay to the master at first, okay? Like, I'm very excited that I'll finally be going and continuing my education. This is something that has really been like weighing on my mental health for the past year, that I just kind of wasn't able to continue with that. So I'm really excited. However, it's like 80 kilometers away, so hang on, I heard that the other day, and I thought I need to tell you, I need to remember it, because it was like in a video I watched, but it was literally like 80 kilometers and then the miles to it. Oh, but I forgot it again because I was thinking I need to remember so I can tell you guys the exact mile conversion. But just on top of my head, this is probably false information. I think it's about 120 to 130 miles. I have no idea. Regardless, I need to commute. It's like almost an hour of a drive. And the issue is that it's like quite a small town, and the train is going there, but the train goes like an hour there, and then obviously I still have to go to the train station from here, and then I'd have to take a bus or even two buses from the train station there to go to the uni. And then because the buses only run like every 30 minutes and then the train only runs every 30 minutes, basically it'll literally take me like 2 hours and 15 minutes, and then like depending on when I get out of class, because sometimes I have class till like 7 at night, it's gonna be like a huge thing. So I did decide to get a car, and I spoiled this a little bit in my last neighborhood ramble. I think I told you guys before, but I did buy a car. I bought a really old VW Golf 6. It's a VW Golf 6. It is not my dream car. It is not an LDA one. However, I am really happy with it. I've been driving it a bit, mainly to my parents and back. I've been really enjoying it. However, it ripped a huge hole into my bank account. Because, like, listen, I don't have that much money, like, on a good day. And yeah, I paid 5,000 euros for it. Your parents actually paid half of it, which was so sweet and so kind. However, that still means I had to, like, pay 2,500 euros out of my pocket. And that just kind of drained my entire fund. And then obviously, you don't just have to buy a car, you also have to buy like supplies for it. You know, I had to get like stupid little things like a first aid kit. I had to get like these vests you need. And obviously I had to buy oil, I had to get petrol, I had to get it serviced like right out of buying it. I had to obviously register it, I had to get plates for it. I didn't know how much fucking plates cost. I think I paid like 60 euros for my plates. But yeah, I also had to get it registered, which is also super expensive, like things you don't know. And then I had to pay my insurance for it, like upfront for the entire year. And it was just so much money that just like pulled up. And literally it ate up every single cent that I had saved somewhere, okay? Everything. So yeah, you know, full transparency, I got a shitty little car from 2009 that, you know, we're gonna have to live with each other, but I'm quite happy. I love her. She's fun, and I'm very excited in Germany, okay, studying, technically it doesn't cost money, or at least not, that much. And it's because all our universities, usually you can go to a private one and pay, but the main universities that are accessible are state universities, so they're all like funded by the state, by the government, and you as a citizen don't pay student money, also not as an international. My boyfriend didn't have to pay anything for his uni course. So what we do pay though is like a little administration and like copy, stuff like that fee. It's usually between 80 and 90 euros per semester, so per 6 months. However, I think it kind of slightly varies like by the uni you go to. However, you also pay for a student train ticket, and that's kind of depends on your area and your train company where your uni signed with, how much that is. And my old uni just let us get like our own tickets, so the semester fee was like 80 euros, and my new uni is not. So I think the semester fee was like 190 euros, and like, listen, I'm so grateful because I didn't have to pay 10,000 for my education. That's like the only reoccurring fee you have for going to uni. But it came at a point where I just emptied my entire bank account, and then I had to also pay for that. And the girl still gotta eat, So yeah, I've been a bit strapped for cash lately, because that's kind of been happening. And then it's like so stupid because I have like some more or less expensive things I kinda need to get. One being I need to replace my desk chair that you can see behind me, a little piece of shit. Because it broke and it's not fixable and you can't actually sit on it, which is really annoying. It's currently okay because I can use my boyfriend's to film while he's at work. However, when I'm going back to uni, I'm obviously going to need a stool. But office chairs are so expensive. I'm crying. Like all the ones I looked at, even on like Amazon and stuff, and I obviously want to get something that's, decent. They're like at least 80 to 100 euros. And it just feels like such an unnecessary spend, It's like buying books or buying makeup or something gives me serotonin, but buying a freaking chair is just not gonna give me the same serotonin hit. And it's just so much money. And then I obviously am going to the wedding next month, like in 3 weeks, and I have to get obviously a wedding gift. And like, I'm not gonna show up with nothing, So I also have to get that. And then I'm also going on vacation with my boyfriend at the end of the month, and this was obviously pre-booked before I knew I was gonna empty my pockets into a driving vehicle. So you're also gonna have to afford that somehow. And I'm already debating selling my used socks. I'm just joking. If you do that, like, not judging. I would if I could, but I'd have no idea how to go about it. However, yeah, me lamenting around about not having money, I'm hoping it'll sort itself out. I am a bit worried about having to actually pay fuel for this car. Because I calculated it, and because it's such a distance and fuel is kind of expensive in Germany, it costs me 20 euros to drive to and from uni. So each day that I have to go to uni is gonna cost me 20 euros. So like a little more dollars. I think also a little more pounds. I don't know. I think, who knows? So that's a lot. I think I need a sugar daddy. But thankfully my boyfriend has a job now and can sugar daddy me. But I start of the year till date, and at the project I was doing it for quite a while. I think I was doing it for 4 or 5 years. So that did put a bit of a dent in my earnings in a month. But I kind of thought I just like kind of spend less and YouTube will be enough. However, then I decided to like not upload for a month and only post 3 videos, which is obviously not that great for my income. So yeah, that's not too great. However, obviously now I'm posting a bit more, but YouTube's never really been about money for me, and I've had a bit more of a harder time being like creative and not putting a lot of pressure on myself once I had YouTube as like my only job. So I kind of want to go back to having something next to it. And now like a few things have changed where I could legally do an employed job. I wasn't able to do that before, so people were surprised. But we have a really great healthcare system in Germany. However, until you're 25, you can be insured over your family. So if your dad's like the main earner or your mom, you know, you can be insured over them, and it basically doesn't cost you anymore. So it doesn't cost me. But they have like a few limitations. For example, how much you can earn. Obviously, as soon as you like earn a bit more, you do need to get your own insurance. So obviously one of the conditions is that you only earn like less than, I think, 550 euros a month. And then the second condition that they have, and this is just such a niche thing that usually no one has a problem with, you know, is that you can either be self-employed or you can be employed, okay? And a lot of you are confused about this. But yeah, because I'm self-employed with YouTube, while being on my dad's insurance, I was not able to also be employed. But this is only a health insurance issue if you're insured in like a family insurance. However, since I have recently turned 25, there's not an issue anymore, and I can now do both. However, I can't earn more because otherwise I'm not getting student funding. Lots of like bureaucracy here. But yeah, now I can be employed. And I mentioned before that I work in the lab, or I did my bachelor thesis. But I work like voluntarily. Is that the word? I volunteer to work. They have offered me a job like a year ago, but I couldn't then because it would have been employed work. Remember? So this is the whole point. So I've been thinking about asking again, because I'm there once a week for a day, to, you know, see if they want to employ me again, or like actually employ me now. But it's just kind of a weird question, you know, after working for free somewhere for a year and a half. But yeah, I hope it goes well, because that would actually be like the ideal situation, because then I could like have experience, work there, and time management wise, it would probably not work for me to work somewhere else and also volunteer there. So that'd be my ideal scenario, but I need to see if they have time and opportunity to employ me. But we'll see. It obviously would be great, otherwise I'm probably thinking about, you know, figuring something else out. We'll see. But I just kind of want to take the pressure out of YouTube to have to be my main income source, just because I can feel, you know, like the shift was so noticeable to the point where I put like so much more pressure on myself to make videos. And obviously I want to make videos because I really like talking to you guys, and not because I feel like I have to earn money. So I'm trying to go back to that a little bit. However, I kind of like finally now, now let's get to the mental health and like channel update. I've been really thinking about like channel, because I do already have a second one. And I actually even was thinking about a fourth channel, but at some point it's just too much, you know. But I do like occasionally doing a little more like classical triggers, you know, back to the roots, just a classic fall asleep video. I was recently a guest babysitter on Freya ASMR's channel, who's such a sweet person. I love her so much. And I got to do a few more like classic triggers over there, and I really enjoyed it. The issue is just, if I give you guys those videos, they tend to do absolutely stinking because you guys don't want to watch it, which isn't, you know, it's not bad, but it's just like it's not like, I don't want to say it's not worth it, but if you guys don't want to watch it, like, why? Like, I'd have no reason to like sit down for an hour and film this video that you guys don't want to see. So I've been debating with the thought of doing another like more trigger based channel with like less yapping the entire time, you know, and doing more actual triggers. But then kind of the thing that's been on my mind for a really long time that I've been really wanting to do is doing a booktube channel where I can actually loudly yell about the books I love, just because I am really enjoying the like book bubble, and I would love to do a bit more book content, especially like book vlogs and stuff. I don't love doing like a complete voiceover over book vlogs or vlogs, and I've tried a way to make like ASMR vlogs without voice-overing everything, but it's just really hard. Every time I do it, I just end up not liking it. But I would love to do like book vlogs, like 24-hour readathons, and like, you know, read with me and stuff like that. And it just kind of feels like I haven't found a good way yet where I'm happy with the video to bring it to you in an ASMR form. And then, I don't know, I've just been really thinking about doing a booktube channel as well. I already have problems keeping up with my Reddit channel, so I'm not sure how good of an idea that is. But speaking of the Reddit channel, I know a lot of you guys love that channel, and technically, like, sometimes I'm really annoyed about myself because I don't know if you knew that, but that channel actually is performing a lot better than this channel, which is hilarious because I'm obviously putting way more effort into this channel than in the other one, but those videos like perform quite well in comparison to the videos I'm doing over here. I think just like the bookish niche that also crosses over with ASMR just like isn't that big, so you know. But like, you guys seem to really like the Rowdo videos. However, I just like, I don't know why, but it's constantly on the back burner in my mind. Constantly think about the content I want to make here. You know, this is truly where my heart and my soul is in. And I love the Reddit videos. They just don't allow me as much creative freedom. Obviously, like, I love reading books. It's my hobby, you know. I love it so much. I love talking to you guys about it 24/7. Okay, I can make a book video every day. But yeah, I feel I would annoy you. So, yeah, I don't know. I've been wanting to come back to the Reddit channel, and I will as soon as this cold is over. However, I'm not making any promises to when it is, because this time I wanna like set myself up for success from the get-go, and I'm not coming back until I have like 5 or 6 videos pre-filmed that are edited and uploaded. And then I'm coming back. So that'll be a minute, but from then on, I'm hoping I can finally get my shit taken out and actively upload on this channel regularly. But yeah, that is something I really wanted to do. I've been really distracted lately because there is like a billion things I would really like to do with this channel, and then I constantly don't have time. This is kind of an issue. I was talking to Christelle about this she's such a little sweetie, and we've been talking a lot about like putting yourself out there on YouTube, you know, about like anxiety and stuff, and I've also like talked to her about that. Like I sometimes have a big issue with, I don't want to say multitasking, but this is something, you know, I'm like working on with my mental health. But if I have something going on, and this could just be like exams, you know, but I get so stuck on the one thing I'm trying to do, I put so much pressure on myself that I like ice everything, like everything else is just on ice. I don't talk to my friends anymore. I like don't reply because I just like my phone is somewhere else all day. I tend to get really bad with uploading frequently. I just completely lose every sense of structure that I had in my life. I'm just very, very focused on this one goal or this one issue. It's more like issues, not specifically goals. And I just get very, very absorbed in one thing. And I know it's like bad for myself because I don't speak to my friends, I don't see my friends, I don't take time for myself. I'm not doing anything. And I've noticed that like I am toxic for myself, and I need to work on that, you know. Like the other day I was talking to my boyfriend about this because obviously I had exams in July, which is also coincidentally when I uploaded 3 videos in 1 month. And I just kind of noticed I forbid myself everything. I don't watch TV, I don't watch shows, I don't watch YouTube other than to fall asleep. I put my phone away all day, every day, like I'm not touching it, and I'm studying like 8 to 10 hours a day. And it's just very unhealthy. I also don't read. I like put everything away that could distract me or that could like be nice. I just like, and I don't even know what I do with the rest of my day. I don't like, it's so hard to describe, but I just get so stoned. And it's like really hard for me to get out of it, and then the thing is like done and I'm just like, why did I do that? I didn't like speak to anyone for like 3 weeks. And like it's obviously super unhealthy. I would do so much better if I like would take time for myself. I would not constantly live in this like stress. I've noticed that my body is really, really high on like stress, and I do need to fucking relax. Who said that? Like I feel like I'm very self-conscious about some things, and I like know that's an issue, but I don't know how to address the issue because I tend to fall back into the same things whenever like life gets stressful, life gets hard. I fall back into the same toxic routines, and I never know how to make it better. And obviously now in retrospective, the last year was so hard for me. I don't want to cry, but I am currently getting very emotional about this. I just felt so drained by university. I feel like we talked about the whole shebang that was going on, but I felt so drained. I was so exhausted. I felt like I couldn't express myself creatively. I feel like I had no time. I constantly had to worry about my future, and obviously it just all built up a lot to the interview I had now, and now I got accepted after a year of like being so emotionally and exhausted and stressed about this and having to worry so much about my future. And now I went from like a full-blown uni all day every day, no, okay, not every day, but like from a lot of uni, from a lot of pressure about my life to, okay, like that has worked out, like I can continue uni. I'm like currently done with the exams. I'm still waiting on my last grade to see if I passed or not. But technically, hopefully, I'm done with my bachelor's. I will continue with my master's, and now it's just like, oh that like it happened. I'm like done. I skipped, like I'm finished with the hard part, but for some reason my body is not aware of this yet. And I like sometimes like I feel like I can't catch a breath, okay, because something again has happened where I've gotten really bad news about the health of a family member, like actually really bad news, which kind of make me really sad, okay, because it's about my mom. In short, she's had a like tumor all her life, but or like not all her life, more like all my life. But so far it's always been a non-cancerous tumor. However, recently with her checkup, she got the news that it is now probably cancerous, and the tumor itself is like not operable, except if she like very highly probably would lose her arm. Which great, you know, and yeah, now she needs to do more checkups to see if it, you know, is confirmed cancer, or like if it by any miracle is not. And I'm trying not to stress myself into it too much before I actually know, you know, but this is obviously my mom's health. And I'm very worried about it, so I'm like, I got like a 1 week break, and now I'm like really high strung again because something happened again. And I know, you know, like life will never be easy peasy, and there will always be something else thrown in my way. And I need to learn how to actively cope with it, and I need to learn how to take more care of myself and be more present in the moment. And this is something, again, I'm trying to actively work on. However, I'm sometimes like not entirely sure how I should work on it. But yeah, we'll see. I'm obviously hoping I'll get good news about my mom's health, but at this point I don't know, and I'm very worried about it. But yeah, I've been trying to be positive and think about other things, not worry about something that is not yet set in stone. But yeah, just, you know, once again, I just kind of need to learn to deal with certain things a little better, and I need to focus on myself a bit more. I don't know, I need to find a bit more of a way to not lose myself whenever life gets stressful. And it's kind of my mission for the summer, for like the break period that I'm now having from uni, and things are stressful. However, on the upside of everything, with like being a little more free from uni and stuff, I have been more creative. My creativity has been flowing a little, but obviously I was on holidays and now I've been sick, so I haven't been able to do any of these things. However, I have a few things that I would really love to do on this channel, so, or like not even on this channel, more like around the channel with you guys, you know, with the community. I guess I do love you guys so much. I always love talking to you in the comments, and I always feel like I can't even express it, you know, but to me, you know, I sit in front of a camera talking into it, and I know people watch it, like, I know it, but it's just like, you can't actually imagine that people are actually watching your videos. Do you know what I mean? It's like a weird thought that someone, as in you, is currently laying in their bed or during lunch or like sitting somewhere and is watching me talk about my life, or like, you know, me talking about my books and stuff. So it's just always a really weird thought. And then I read your like beautiful comments and I feel so connected to you guys, and then it's just kind of that's like it. And I like know a lot of you guys, you've commented a lot, and I kind of feel like I have like a connection to you guys, you know, like you guys are such a big part of my life, you know. I don't know if I'm such a big part of your life, who knows, you know, I can't relate to that. But always do you guys spend But yeah, I've been really loving it to read books with you guys. And I've recently made a bit more like deeper connections with some of you in the book club, some other ASMR artists. And it's just been such a positive impact in my life. I've been enjoying it so much. To talk more to you guys and to other ASMR artists, I've been like so thankful for these connections, and I kind of want to talk to more of you guys. So I've been thinking about more ways of like talking outside the book space, you know, on Fable. And I was thinking if I should do like a text group, because I do currently have a second number that I got on my boyfriend's mom for while she was here in Germany visiting. So I was kind of thinking I could use that second number as kind of like a business number, and so to keep my private one private, you know. But then we could kind of message. But I'm like not sure if you guys be into that, you know, is that weird? Like, would you guys like that? So we could make like a group chat. I don't know. I was even thinking, because I was thinking about live streaming before, but I could think of like nothing worse than like, I mean, would you guys come? Like, I don't know, like, what should I? Like, I just kind of feel like, am I like talking to like like is anyone gonna come? I usually don't watch live streams, so I'm like, would you even watch it, you know? Like, who am I? Like, I'm not that interesting, you know? But then I was kind of thinking if you guys be interested in like a Zoom call or something, but then my inner introvert is like, are you interested in doing a Zoom call? But then again, I would kind of like love to actually like face to face chat with you guys and like do a hangout session. Obviously then like not ASMR, but I would kind of love that. But then again, you know, I just don't know what you guys want to, what you guys not want to. Let me know if you made it this far. I probably shouldn't have talked about this stuff earlier in the video, because I think I've been yapping for quite a while at this point. However, yeah, I've been thinking about that. And then I have been thinking about like more ways to connect and like more ways for like being creative. I don't know if you guys remember this, but end of last year I made those bookmarks that I sent to everyone who wanted one. So I still have some, by the way, so if you want them, you can still message me. And I'll send you some. But that was obviously really fun, and I loved doing it, and I loved being creative with it. So I was kind of thinking about doing like an Etsy for it. Someone said it, and it just kind of like, I didn't initially want to make an Etsy, but now the idea was kind of stuck in my head. But then again, it's kind of like a financial risk, and like bookmarks, it's just, you know, it's not like a lucrative business. So I'm just not sure if I'm just stealing myself time that I already don't have, and if this is really a smart time and investment idea. But I would creatively love to do it. I would also, I thought this was such a fun idea. I would like love doing that, where I do like a, not like a subscription, but kind of, where I would do like a monthly bookmark, and then like a monthly like little letter, like even like a newsletter where I talk about my favorite books and give like bookmarks and recommendations, and I don't know, where you guys could get like a letter from me every month. And I think that would be so cute, but like, you know, I wouldn't be able to pay for that every single month, so this would obviously be something I'd have to actively sell. And I would love doing it, but like, one, I kinda don't want anyone having to pay for anything. If I could, I would give you like everything free, like you could have everything from me. Gift giving is my love language. I don't know if I've mentioned that before. way of like expressing love, because sometimes I struggle with the words. I don't know. It's been always really hard for me. This is back to my daddy trauma of my father leaving me really early on. Like, I'm kind of joking, but like I think this is genuinely the cause. But I feel really hard. I have a hard time with the words because I always feel like I can get really hurt by words, and also, you know, by actions. I don't know. I always question people's motives, and not saying I don't appreciate them, you know. But especially with the words, I always think like you can talk so much shit all day and then like it just not be real. So all the other like love languages are so much more important to me than words of affirmation. But my dad back in the day left my mum pretty much meaningless. No, I said like without means, not meaningless, but like with no money, and with 2 kids and a house they just bought and had to pay for, and he just like was out of there. And my mum was an absolute rock star, you know. She worked and was a single mum for a very long time and got me and my brother through that. However, I had to grow up a lot during that situation, and I was quite young because I was kind of then the main caretaker of my younger brother, and I kind of like was very aware of the like, why am I trauma dumping my entire childhood anyway? Like, my mom didn't used to have a lot of money and wasn't able to afford a lot for us kids. And then as I grew older, the main income was always coming from my stepdad, who's amazing. You know, he's been taking care of my mum. He allowed her to stay home with us and be more of a stay-at-home mum. She was still working, but you know, he was the main earner of the family, especially because my brother was like dealing with some like developmental issues that my mum had to take care of. So I and my mum also, you know, never wanted money from him. We always wanted to be very independent. So I never got a lot of stuff when I was young, and obviously my parents always valued like experiences and holidays a lot more over like way more than buying me stuff, you know, and that was always fine. Like, really, I can't say anything bad about my childhood. I've got to travel so many places. However, in my like very formative years of being a teenager, I just had all these friends whose parents like bought them everything, you know. They were such a spoiled little kid sometimes. And I just always was really fascinated by like fashion and makeup and stuff like that, that obviously always cost money, and I never had the money to afford this. And this is something I know, like, I as an adult now spend a lot of money on exactly these things that I never got to have, and it's been a bit of a process. Right when I was like 18 and first had my own money, I spent so much money on absolute crap just because I wanted to have everything. And I've been learning that, you know, I've been learning it. However, I think that is still, while I'm like deeply rooted, I like giver in my heart, because I appreciated getting things so much when I was younger, and I appreciated a good gift. I've always like, I rarely got anything, so I appreciated even more, and it was always so special for me to give someone else something that I really thought about it, and like I saved up for a while, you know. So I don't know, it's just kind of like gift giving is just the love language that I just do the most. I don't know. I love getting my friends like really thoughtful gifts. I'm trying to tone it back, because obviously, first of all, I can't spend that much money, and second of all, I like don't want to like love bomb my friends all the time. But like, if I could, I would buy my friends gifts like every day, all day. Like, sometimes I dream of becoming like a big PR like girly, loads of PR. Because you know, when all these like big influencers always do like PR giveaways to their friends and they get so much PR. Like I don't want to get PR so I can have stuff. Okay, I want to purely get PR so I can give my friends the like coolest gifts and just constantly spoil them. And I would love to do like big PR giveaways and give it to you guys, you know, like sometimes I dream about these things, okay, but like I think ASMR YouTubers inherently don't get a lot of PR, so I kind of chose the wrong niche here. However, that's kind of my dream. I daydream about that sometimes. Anyway, where was I? I love gift giving. So I would really love to give you guys gifts like all day, every day, but considering that I don't have that much money on my bank account, it's not the most feasible idea, and it's probably not something I can currently afford. So, you know, it would have to be a purchasable service for me, which, you know, I just kind of have a moral issue with. Whatever, because there's so many things, like so many people selling stuff, you know, it's on all of you to make an informed decision about whether or not you want to spend your hard-earned money on something. But, you know, I just wish I could do it free. I wish I could, like, not have to ask for money, which is why I'm kind of not doing it currently. But it's been something I've been thinking about. And what else? Oh yeah, there was a time, okay, I was talking to a brand, I'm not gonna name, but I was talking to a brand that I was really excited about. They reached out to me to ask if they could work with me. And I was really, really excited about the opportunity, and the deal would have kind of been that they wanted to long-term sponsor my monthly wrap-ups, because obviously they tend to perform really well. And I was really excited to work with the brand and to, you know, do a monthly sponsorship, because it would have been, you know, like amazing, but it would have been between like 80 and 100 euros of kind of negotiating per video. And like my original idea was that I could then do a like monthly book giveaway, because obviously I'd be earning money from the video, so I would have liked to give some back. I think I even teased that about like around Christmas time, but then for like multiple reasons that fell through, which I was really sad about, but ultimately I think it was for the best. However, I really was into the idea that I could give a book away every month, but I don't even earn like enough with one video to purchase a book. So, you know, kind of like the channel needs to grow a little bit till that can happen, but this is something I would really love to do realistically in the future. Because if I could, I would literally love to purchase books for you guys like 24/7. Oh yeah, actually, you know what, that brings me to a second thing. Because I got a really lovely message from one of you guys on Instagram, and she asked if I'm selling my old books. And I have been selling some of my old books on my Vinted. However, my Vinted is on my real name, which I've been, you know, going back and forth about telling you guys my name, because at this point I don't think it's like that big of a deal. But then I have some reservations, because obviously there's people out there who aren't as lovely as most of you are. And I'm just not sure if it's like smarter to protect myself from that, especially because originally I didn't make the channel in my actual name, so Freya isn't my name, if you know that. Because I wanted to keep it separate from my professional career in biology, and obviously in any like STEM related profession you want to get your name out there as a researcher at some point, you know, and get so you could like support me and stuff. And I kind of love the idea because I would love nothing more truly than to give my books back to you guys and have you read them. I don't know, I think that would be so cool. But I'm still thinking about like the logistics of it because one, so far I'm selling them vintage, but vintage, first of all, it's under my real name, and they do require you to add your address and stuff. And then every parcel would have my address on it that you guys receive. And listen, I trust most of you, but like I would like, you know, if you know that you could like buy my information for €6 on Vinted, you know. And I'm not like 100% sure about how I wanna deal with that because I'm really grateful that I so far haven't had any issues with anything creepy. But I know that some other fellow ASM artists have, and that just made me a bit wary about it. And then my next issues, I don't know, that Vinted only, you know, does Europe, and most of my people who are in the UK, in the US or in Australia wouldn't be able to even access that. So I was thinking about eBay because that's kind of like what I was thinking about is like the most like international one, and then it would obviously show you shipping costs, and I think over eBay I would be able to give you guys like lower shipping prices. However, I think they'll still be exorbitant, you know. I don't know if you really want to buy a used book for me for like more than you'd pay if you just go to the store and get it yourself, you know. So I've been debating about it, but then again, even on eBay, I think I need to get my real address out there because I just don't have like a dummy address or whatnot. Also, like in Germany, PO boxes, you can get PO boxes, but to my knowledge, they're all only letters only. You cannot receive parcels to a PO box, and you can especially like you'd have to rent a really expensive stuff to get actual PO boxes to a different address. And I'd like love to do it, but I don't get PO boxes, you know. Like I mean I get wild, but they have my actual address. But you know, other than that, it's just kind of like it would purely be to not put my address out there and to maybe get like if something gets returned. But it just feels like a bit of a fuck around for what it ends up being, especially because I'm not entirely sure how much value you guys would get out of it. But I've been thinking about it. I was thinking about it. I'm trying to figure out something how I could maybe get around it and make my old books accessible for you, because I would love to, you know, give some of them to you guys and yeah, I don't know, sell them. But then again, you know, I'd have to like actually actively sell them. I wouldn't be able to like give them away for free, which is like another thing I'm not loving. However, I would make it cheap. I probably would give you guys a discount code, and if you message me, I'll discount the book, because otherwise other people are gonna buy these books for super cheap, and I want you guys to get them. But yeah, you know, I'm like thinking about it. I just don't know logistically how I'm gonna pull this off. Because if I wouldn't do it over page, the shipping would just be so much, like it's not worth it. Yeah, so I'm kinda like debating. However, I think I've unironically yapped your little ear off by now. I hope you enjoyed this. But I'll try to end this video slowly, but I wanted to show you my current read, which is so cute. I'm currently reading the Fairy Loot edition of A Dance of Lies from Brittany Arena, but I'm actually reading this with Ono You Guys, which is so lovely. She's a long-term subscriber of mine, I think. lives, you know. What's your occupancy, you know? Where are you from? Do you live with your family? Do you live with your friends? What's your favorite hobby? Like all these things. I just love to know more about you. What is this hard?